Good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Joanna from the Early Morning Ascension Show. I'm sitting right beneath this beautiful tree, and there's so much going on in the park right now. So I hope that you enjoy this session. Welcome, welcome. We are going to talk about a channel that I did today, and I wanted to share it with you. I might put on my hat because the sun is right there. It's about opening up to your own greatness and what that really means to the alchemic process of who you are and who you are becoming. Really, really excited because we're all meant to kind of take ourselves in these new and different arenas and areas of playing and behaving and creating these new far out patterning of who we are as masters, and what that means to each and every one of us is going to be unique and different. And so in your daily self-care, make sure that you're allowing yourself that time to really sort out and suss out what that means for you. What does it mean for you to be a master within yourself? Everybody is at unique stages and phases, so it's going to be something different for each and every person. Because remember, as soul experiences, we're all moving through varying timelines of experience, varying soul aspects and fragments of experience, which means that we're going to have to call upon the histories of our experience to ensure that we're remaining as best as we can within that center. Because our past experiences are really where we call that wisdom from and how we call that mastery from, so that we can make higher and better choices for now, and then start paving the way for this beautiful alchemy of what's to come. So that the energy that they gave me when I was opening into it was activating and understanding, as we did a little while ago, but aligning with your highest light and doing that as a daily practice, or even in your affirmations and even in your vocations every day. It's just calling in, I am aligned with my highest light. I am aligned with my highest potential. I'm aligned with my highest greatness. You're activating these new worlds into being. And we have no idea how profound this really is into creating a new reality or expecting of yourself in a new reality, but it really is. As you see it and perceive it and know it and believe it, so too it is. Because you're allowing yourself to create the world as it's becoming, and you're creating it in new. Releasing the patterns of what was is so really, really, really powerful. And so here's what they gave me. And this is just a little bit of a channel. When we open up to our own greatness, we do many things. The belief, the knowing that you are without question or without doubt being colored by any outside factor or any outside realm. So again, that's the affirmation, the intention, and the knowing that I'm calling in my greatness right now. I know that I'm great. I know that I'm profound. What level of that greatness in that moment? Trust that you and your higher self and your soul are going to activate what is needed in that moment for whatever is required. Because your higher self and your soul know what levels of greatness, whether it might be a DNA activation, whether it might be a remembrance from another lifetime, whether it might be a remembrance of this lifetime, or a past memory that is bringing you into maybe a creative gift, or maybe a soulful knowing. So just know that those knowings will be planned and aligned, if you will, and fixed up for you, if you will, as the universe creates the knowingness for you or the support for you when you're calling it in and knowing of it and perceiving yourself as it. So it's really important that you simply walk with that knowing. I'm calling in my greatness. I am this as I am. And that goes back to, again, as you perceive the world anew, it so is. As you perceive anything as is, so it is. As you seek that, so it is. As you seek the love and the beauty in others, so it is. So you are creating this, and it is truly accelerated. I know myself, I've been experiencing these profound accelerations, and I wrote about it in my Tumblr offering and edit this morning. I do lots of writing, and so every morning I try to send out whatever the teams are sending me as far as inspirations and abbreviations on kind of this whole ascension process and how to look for and feel into these really profound ascension symptoms that are really up leveling and they're really accelerating. And so I've noticed a huge acceleration in the synchronicity and the alignment of greater things speeding up, and these timelines really shifting beneath us. But we must call it into activation and activity. We must call it into our own participation, because the universe will converge around us, but we must activate to open those portals of DNA and activate those portals of new synaptic potentials. And that's why many of us as conduits, we work with the planets and we work with the earth and we work with the conduits of energy with our hands, because there's so much flowing through us now. It's a grander part of energy. Our chakras are opening and aligning, spinning faster. Our cells are spinning faster. The auras are spinning faster, and the auras are actually getting bigger. So we need to play with grander space as conduits, because sometimes we get confined and we feel so confined in smaller arenas, and why we have to keep challenging ourselves to break out of these new environments and territories. So what they were saying is, firstly, You claim to the right of your own potential as you open the infinite as it is. So I'm claiming I am infinite. That's that one acknowledgement. And I'm going to open into it. And it's great. As it is and always has been. So you've always been infinite. You've always been great. Now you're going to acknowledge it and open into it. And whatever it is, your higher self and your soul will know exactly. Your teams and your guides and spirit and God will always know what's next for you in that next awakening, in that next level up, in that next step up, if you will. Secondly, you begin to activate the pathways of potential, which can only come about by your pure-hearted, joyful action of it. Remember, God is all things. God is the essence between all essence. God is the magnificence of all that is. God is the creator of all life. God is all energies, and God is all entities. It all is a perspective of how our belief systems are set up. Even those that they were giving me an example, because it was my own personal experience of those doing black magic on me, and how we've interchanged our roles throughout timelines to give one another the role playing experience and participation, and really refining how we use energy and how we work with energy. And we just offset those roles that we play for one another, so that we can create that goal, greater soul growth in how to use and honor energy and honor sacred life, never to harm or manipulate or hurt anyone. But even those energies or experiences we have on earth of dissecting what we've known to be religion, or dissecting what we know to be God, and everybody having their free beliefs to be and cherish what we know as God in whatever ways we want to, because it's always free will. And that is the purpose of diversity, is to allow each and every person their fullness of expression and exploration experience of God. But even the entities that we so have experienced in our lives, and those that work with negative energies and what have been termed and called the devil, because we have such limited language of energy on our planet. Those are just the stories that we've all come with as good or bad, and all of the stories of dichotomy that we've all grown up with, and how to honor it and be neutral with it. Even those energies that have been called the devil is still God. They're still essences, because there is only one God. There is only one experience. It's just the vessel of belief. It's the vessel of perpetuation. It's the vessel of perspective. Every energy is unique and unto itself. However, that energy chooses to believe in its reality, in itself, what it exists within itself, and who is it. That will determine what it so calls in, and what it so attracts, and what it so can be a part of. What reality is it going to participate in? So that soul has its own unique set of beliefs and tools and wisdoms that it's got to work through. Those are parts of the soul lessons that must be transmuted. There is the universal laws that allow us to truly go within and start working with the universal laws and universal energies and understanding universal energies. So we don't have to really worry about the fuss and the mess that dense, limiting, fearful beliefs can entangle. The perpetuation of limitation, the perpetuation of fear, control, greed, judgment, separation, all of those things which perpetuate war and all of the crime that we have on our planet, they're really not necessary. When you go within the three simple, questions of evolution and awakening, who am I? And every day question it to get to a higher vibrational loving truth. It's really very, very simple. And anytime something comes up, whether it be competition or wanting to be getting drama, or whether it be whatever is that outer need to feed the ego energy, if it's not aligned with spirit, it will create whatever drama it wants to feed its beliefs. Whether there is a devil belief against God, or whether there's a devil belief that no light is good, and how dare somebody shine, and how dare a woman stand up and speak her truth, or whatever the beliefs of limitation are, of separation. Those beliefs and those wounds must be healed, because that is a crime into itself and to the soul of itself. But that soul is playing a very grand lesson for all of those that are saying, well, no, every voice is powerful and every voice is important. So they play equal parts in the same game. They're just different roles and different avatars. So it's all needed and required. But we can look at reality in such that way, where there can be a variety of varying diverse beliefs, and how each one calls unto its own greatness is its own free will. That's the gift of spirit. But it's into each free will that you find those gifts, that you find those skills and those pleasures through which you create life, the delight of life, if you will. And so firstly, to claim it and own it as your own, because there's infinite potential within that own claiming. As you perceive it, as you know it, as you claim it, so too it is. It's always been there, it always has, and it always will, because spirit and source and God is forever. All life that is spirit, all life that is God is infinite and eternal. It's an evolving, eternal, infinite evolutionary expansiveness. Light is expansive. Light is intelligent. Darkness is very dense because it's not allowing light to get in. So that vessel of light that cannot flow its equal and natural innateness will block itself and stifle itself and call in through its own negative belief systems, those dark entities that want to play. And therefore they get labeled in stories of genre and stories of drama and excitement that the devil is against that which is God. It isn't, because it's still God. It's the perspective of the storyteller that chooses it to be what it is. That's how powerful creators we are. And there are always those leveling sheaths of protection and evolutionary bodies and legions of light that will ensure that no more manipulations of the divine and the innocent will be done, because there's still those games that want to be played with those that are saying, I don't want to play those games. You can't force somebody to play in your game. And so when those free wills are not being honored and not being adhered to, then that's when divine intervention steps in and changes that game. Because we've played out those wars before, and there will be no further wars. There will be no manipulations of the thwarting of the mind that thinks it has to have one over of anyone or anything else. And it does not claim its right to anybody or any person to come and play in its game when those energies have said, no, I'm not playing anymore. I choose to focus, direct, intend my energy elsewhere. Focus, direct, intend my energy elsewhere. And that's when you start shifting your reality and you call in those higher vibrational beliefs, because you've chosen to be of that greatness of it. I am divine greatness. I will activate who I am. Anything is possible. All is healable. And that's what the children need most of us. They don't need the perpetuation of what we've always done. Those are the mental matrix games that keep us in suppression, that keep us not receiving the light, as our cells need light. It's our natural innate flow. Ascension is natural and innate. Ascension is the natural evolution of who we are becoming. The densities that we clear off every day of the limitations, whether it be competition, whether it be greed, whether it be gluttony, whether it be control over others, all of those energies must be healed and released as the light is bathed on the density. And then we'll go within and work with those shadow energies to call it into a harmonization of greater light, greater love, greater light, greater love. It's all one. It's just a different side of the coin. But we all play those sides. We all have to play it and see it from the various angles to be that master that we are. For one cannot heal and assist others in healing if one has not gone through those steps of alchemy. You can't talk your way through it through fakery. You got to experience. How do I alchemize? What is alchemy all about? Alchemy is the purity of your feeling, of your oneness with spirit. Spirit is the reconnection and the realignment. You can never not be connected with spirit. Reconnection means you're intending it now. You're knowing of it within you and all things. I'm connecting with the energies of the spirit behind the tree. The trees and the trees behind me and the trees that are in front of me, they're all having a song of elegance. And when, as a conduit, we sing and we dance and we move, we're playing with those threads of notes and intentions and sacred geometry. As the ascension symptoms pick up and quicken, the expansiveness of your aura is going to want to play in different ways with such energies and realms, because that's how we expand and we awaken those gifts. What they were saying to me before is, as you activate your greatness, you're going to want to start practicing in it so that you can open up the portals and the pathways. Just like many of the studies that are being done now with Alzheimer's and other degenerative mental illnesses and imbalances and diseases, it's a matter of retraining what the brain has. If we're taking on the idea that, oh, I'm going to accept this disease because it's been in my family forever and that's just my genetic, that's just my genetic inheritance. You don't have to. You can entrain, as we sent again in our Tumblr. Cryon did many, many channelings for many, many years now about recoding and surrendering what has been so that we can recreate what is the potential of the greatness. And that is just about you creating the pathways, whether it's through the synaptic brain waves or patterning, to these higher vibrational entrainments that are great. But we have to open and activate. We have to spark that, and spirit will be there. Remember, spirit will always match us in these equal opportunity realms. There will always, always, always be the vibrational help and support, but we must activate it and spark it. We must open up that door. We must get in that elevator and press the button. And so secondly, you begin to activate the pathways of potential through which only great can come about. Now, however that great comes about is not for us, the ego-mind, to determine. Just allow that greatness to be whatever it will, because spirit, God, you as your higher self, you as the soul of you, that greatness might be that, wow, you wake up in the middle of the night, you see a vision in the sky. Because as we're shifting multidimensional realms, these beings and these energies will come to you in and out of your play to remind you of who you have been and who you are playing with in other realms and other dimensions and other vibrational opportunities. For those of us that are multiverse travelers, I've seen things that I can't even describe or give names to because they're just so far out and we just don't have names for them. But they're a part of me. They're a part of what I am able to see and able to co-create with spirit, with God, so that I'm always maintaining this higher vibrational connection with the all that is, even the unexplainable, because they're the stories that keep us manifesting greatness and the majesty of new by reaching up and into the unknown, reaching up and into the profound and the unbelievable, the ultimate experience here on earth, which we're all providing ourselves our own unique greatness. But we have to know it within. I'm activating my greatness. I'm aligning with my greatness. I'm aligning with my highest and my best. What does that look like for me? What does that feel like for me? And then reach for it. Begin playing in different ways. Begin dancing and singing in different ways. In my many of the different things that I do to earn income, one of the things that I do is I stand and I create love and light, and I'm using my multidimensional conduit language of love and light, and I dance and I sing, and I dance and I move with the energies of what I'm feeling. And I've always done this as a child, not really understanding it and knowing, but it just always felt natural for me. So whenever I'm sensing or feeling energies, I will just create those energy connections with the air and with the codes and with what I'm feeling and sensing through who I am as spirit. And then I'm channeling these energies of love and play, and I'm assisting in the co-creation of the essence or the omnipresence or the field or whatever we want to call it. It's simply God. To me, it's God. I just sense all things as God. And many of those are really playful energies, the fairies, the elementals, and the realms of earth, so that we can uplift the vibration of earth. We uplift the vibration of the energy in the room. And all has changed, all has changed, all has changed. And why this weekend I had a very special experience in one of those jobs. You know, there was various people waiting to be present with me. And so the energy was palpable. And it was the ability that I'm just embodying and pressing out. It's the innate flow of spirit and how I can use spirit and how I can be with spirit in different ways. And it's felt in different ways. They might not understand it, but our fields are connecting, our auras are connecting, and they're being reactivated into their higher self. Oftentimes they walk away tired because they're new to those vibrational codes and energies in their field, and their bodies are trying to process and release density. So spirit sends me those people that are meant to be healed. Spirit sends me those people that are meant to be activated in those moments. And then the fields are connected, and then the angels and the energies and the teams are co-creating so that whatever is needed in that moment of cleansing and clearing or activating, then it is done through that moment. And that's just a higher knowing that I have. That's with Archangel and Michael and all the councils of light and the legions of light that I walk with. As Jesus said, I walk with the heavens. And so I just trust that as a part of my teams that I walk with. And so that's just a beautiful co-creation. But that's just something that I'm learning to play and activate in my everyday life. And it's no longer just used for those private healing sessions. I'm actually being this in my everyday life as often as I can. And people are seeing me use this language, and they're saying, you know, do you speak sign language? And I said, yeah, it is. It's a vibrational language. It's called light language. And it's a way of channeling and moving the energy within the field so that I'm speaking of a lesson of light. It's a lesson of light. There's reasons why I'm saying what I'm saying, because I'm channeling. There are many children listening right now. Thank you, children. Thank you, children. There's many children that are coming down into this lesson. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, children, because they can see and sense when I use light language and what that means, because it's an activation of memory for them. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. It's a way to move energy through your body, very quick and loving. It just feels good. And it's a way of, many people tap. It's very similar. But we're using the energy in the field, and we're using the energy within our bodies to flow spirit. And it's a very multidimensional experience for me. And it allows me the beautiful synchronicities and love of God, Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And everybody comes with their unique gift. Everybody will use their unique gifts in different ways, in unique ways. So thank you, Spirit. And secondly, you will begin to activate the pathways of the potential, because remember, we have to get in the elevator and push the button. That's activating the pathways. How am I going to be great today? How am I going to act great? How am I going to feel great? How am I going to use this new gift? The gifts are sitting in your field like a blanket of, I just see little codes and buttons to be pushed. It's like the elevator. You can push that button, you can push that button, you can push that, and you can land on a floor, if you will, and that floor will take you to whatever experience you want to experience. But you've got to get in and push that button, and you got to do it with your pure intention. What is my pathway of excitement today? What is my pathway of learning? What's my pathway of becoming? I got to get in there and I got to push the button. And for your remembering of it and the joyful action of it, if you're doing it just to get something, if you're doing it to be in competition with someone, if you're doing it from an ego perspective, you will not, that elevator door will not close. It has to be done from the pure sacredness of joy. And that is understanding who you are as a sacred child. Again, know thyself. Who are you? What do you exist within and what exists within you? If you're doing it for any other reason, to make money, to get one over on somebody, to be in competition with another, to be the only one on the world doing it, you're not doing it for the reasons that is the pure sacred child doing it just to have fun. That's a difference. Those are the differences between being the vessel of excitement, being the vessel in the vibration of spirit, and Christ. The Christ consciousness is a vibrational feeling. It's the essence of spirit living through you, the quickening of who you are as spirit becoming spirit. Then someone that mimics you or copies you or tries to steal your work. There is a difference. Those vessels that do such are doing such from that closed vessel and will not offer those codes. It is a misrepresentation. It will only offer what it is, which is not believing in itself and having a lack and slowing down and a closed experience because there is not the flow of spirit living through them because they don't feel they can. I've had to do this because I had to take it from somebody else. I don't believe I have it, so I'm going to take it from somebody else. So those energies are closed and compressed and the light cannot get in. If you just naturally be yourself, the light just flows. It's very, very simple. But there's so many steeped beliefs about who we are, what we exist within, and what we felt our value systems were, and where we were judging ourselves in those value systems, that all of these crimes and corruptions occurred. And they're really not necessary. And I'm going to do this in every video until it is shared globally, until it is shared universally, until it is shared multiverse. Because we're now coming into creations where we're going to be manifesting with many beings that aren't even from our planet. And we must know of our own value. Who are you? They would be so excited and adoring us in every way and always just to know who we are as humans. Who are you? So speak of the story of who you are, not of another, but who are you? What are your excitements? What are your joys? What are your clevernesses? What makes you you? What makes you unique? And speak of it. This in and of itself helps reduce crime in our world, believe it or not. Because you're not looking for outer experiences or outer definitions or outer value systems or outer dogma or outer compartmentalizations of value, because you're doing it from within. I know who I am. I'm aligned with spirit, and I will always walk with spirit. There is no one that can thwart me. There is no one that can tear me away from the path of who I am and that I know. Because I know what spirit feels like, and I know what mistruth feels like. I know what the infinite ways that someone has deceived me. I can sense deceit in all ways. Before someone even shows up, and then I can send that energy back before they show up and make a plan to come and see me and thread me in more of their deceit. And I can have my angels and I can have all the guides and I can have all the teams block those beings. Because I no longer want to play in those games of deceit. And so I only wish to call forward those that are transparent and truthful, honest, 100%. And if not, I will sense it and they will be gone. Leave. Leave my space. My space will only support that which is truthful. That is my greatness. And I get to hold that and I uphold that. And now I will only call in those that are truthful. Those that are not transparent, bye. And the door will not be opened ever again. So I wish not to co-create with anybody from my past. And those that are coming forward from my past, spirit will block. Because you've caused me enough pain and you've taken enough from me. And as we've said many times before, the games are over. I don't want to play anymore. I stopped wanting to play a couple years ago. And so now the highest of the legions are now assisting and blocking and sending people back. Spirit said what Spirit said. Spirit means what Spirit says, and you wouldn't want to mess with Spirit. I don't understand why people just continue to play the games that they want to play because of their own ego. It doesn't make sense to me. But that's a part of my acceptance and learning why people choose to want to continue their games with me and against me. So let's get back excited. Even if those that think, oh yeah, so they were talking about any energies that you think is not God is still God. God is still an aspect of all life. God is a part of the tree. God is a part of the rock. God is a part of the stick. God is a part of everything. There's nothing that God is not. And to have a vessel that is cramped down on the belief that there is no God, there is no this, there is no that, that's fine. That's what that energy wants to experience. And it will call in those energies and entities of which is still God, but is placed from the perspective of their lack and limitation and hate and anger. And that will be exactly what that energy or bubble will create and contain. And those energies and bubbles cannot ever offer what is done in pure heart and love and light. And they will not absolutely offer any codes except for hate and whatever they conjured. That's just the equal opportunity that is energy. Albert Einstein, look at his work. You're matching whatever you are putting out. That is the universe. So logically, the universe will support you completely, of which is all that is needed, and it will service in all the ways that is required for you to be that equal match to that new realm of potential, that new opportunity, that new potential of your action, of your entanglement, of your engagement. The universe is always going to match you equally. Do you know that? Are you in knowing of that? All you have to do is just play. Spirit will match it and keep matching it. And it's the evolution of expansiveness, of reaching out, of expanding out. Your role is just to open up into who you are, allow the light to flow. Those densities and those misbeliefs and those mistruths of who you were and all the abuse that we've all taken on, all of those will naturally be cleared when you're allowing light to flow. You get to choose to release those beliefs. You get to choose to release those that are not in goodwill and nourishment of you. You get to choose that. That's part of your healing. Then you get to choose your greatness. And in choosing that greatness, you get to expand within these new realms. You will always be supported. There will always be realities that will service that new greatness, whether it's the greatness that you want to be a public speaker or you want to create something new for the collective for healing. All of those greatnesses will be supported in every way. And it's step by step by step, not having the whole plan figured out because one can't. The logical mind and the ego cannot figure out a step-by-step plan. It just can't. Because now we're entering into 5D, and that 5D is living in the moment and allowing every new step to be the catalyst of new realms of play. So you will never, ever know, because Spirit wants to take you on this really miraculous ride, and it's about just trusting. And so you can never, ever plan or know what is possible, but have the universe deliver. Know that the universe is always delivering, always. The universe is always delivering based on who you are, what you exist within, and what exists within you. How magical are you today? How great are you today? Can you be in love with yourself? Can you fall in love with yourself? Can you only rely on you? That is sovereignty. You don't need any other thing outside of you or dependency on anything outside of you. Your role is to heal and love you and only rely on you and your gifts with Spirit, and the path will be paved. And that is returning all energy, all stories, all potentials, all soul expansiveness back to you. Right now, so many people, because the awakening is just beginning, there's so many people that are so scattered because 90% of their energy is going out and they're not directing it, they're not intending it, and they're not focusing it on any one thing, whether it be health, whether it be their own abundance of goodwill, whether it be their own carving out of their own path. And that obsession and focus are two different things. Obsession comes from that lack and fear. Obsession is a fear experience where you're constantly and compulsively doing something because you fear it won't happen or it's not coming to you. Again, that's a lack. That's a lack mentality. Again, it's a mental virus. It's a belief, a mental virus. So that needs to be clear. That's a shadow. Obsession is a shadow. Addiction is a shadow. And it all stems from the fear of lack, belonging, the separation of spirit. The separation of spirit is only an illusion. You cannot be separate from spirit ever. You will always be one with Spirit, and the sun will always come forward when you ask of it. I am always one with Spirit. I am always aligned in my greatest light. I'm always aligned in my greatest truth. I am great today. I am great today. I want to behave in my greatness. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. I don't know if I'm going to read all this because it was quite a bit. The body naturally and innately opens up to light. It just does. It feels so nice when we just see the light and we want the light to flow through us. So allow the light in. Allow the bathing of the sun a couple of times a day and just soft bathing. Just knowing that you're receiving codes. Your body is receiving codes. Your light is receiving the light that it needs, the light within you, the cells of light that you need to create more light. Light begets light. Love begets love. Patience begets patience. Gratitude creates more gratitude. So when you claim your greatness, the key is the remembrance that it opens up from not only other lifetimes of your greatness, the key codes of the purity of alignment, but the spark into a belief and a new sense of being. So when you open up and claim your greatness and you're acknowledging that you are great, it's like they were showing me again, those little packets of little bubbles or sparks of experience or knowingness, and you get to activate it and call it in and then start practicing with it. It's like opening in this beautiful drawer of art supplies, and all of these supplies are ready for you to use. That's what that is like. But you've got to actually open up the drawer and start using the supplies, start practicing. Maybe do a different way that you're going to paint today, or maybe do a different way we're going to just automatic channel. So practice with the tools and the gifts that are being activated for you. That's claiming your greatness. I have so much greatness inside me. I have so many gifts. I haven't even tapped into 10% of them. That's how great I am. And I know that. I know I've come because I'm constantly seeking these new ways to create. I will create, I will create, I will create. New. I'll always create because spirit will always manifest through me. And I know that. I absolutely know that. That's why I'm not losing sleep about those that choose to do what they do, because they're creating their own mess and their own downfall, because that's all it will create. From whatever they conjure, that's how it will be created. I know that I will always create. I just will. My work will always be protected. My work will always be vibrationally aligned with me. And those that seek that vibration of pure light and pure love, they will absolutely know the vibrational difference. That's why I have the core same clientele that come again and again and again, because they know that vibration. And all those new people that are now waiting for the presence of me, those beings are now recognizing greatness because it feels different. And I'm so grateful for them. Thank you, Spirit, for aligning them with me. And again, it comes with the 3 A's. Can you acknowledge your greatness? Can you accept it? And can you allow it? There is no control. There is no forcing. There is no thwarting. And those are just understanding universal laws. You can't force an equation. And every time any scientist has forced an equation, there was always the results and consequences. For the natural flow of the elements, the natural flow of the catalyst and the solution, there will always be. And it's just a matter of that fine-tunement, that refinement of the flowing of natural elements of spirit for the greater good, benevolence or malevolence. They're all required in the purposefulness of what do I choose now? Well, I'm going to go this way now. And I'm absolutely closing the door on that because I can sense it, I can feel it, and it's not good for me. I will no longer wait around for others to offer apologies or statements or declarations of whatever their doing was and why they felt it was so necessary and what their excuses were. So there's no excuse for the ill treatment of another in the ways that were done. So unnecessary on so many levels, and nobody has the right to thwart any other person out of their greatness. Nobody does, whether it's the abuse of a child, whether it's human trafficking, sex trafficking, whether it's drug, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional. Nobody has the right. Our accountability and our wisdoms, we are so accountable for who we are now. Everyone has the potential to take on their responsibility to heal their wounds. There's no need for crime. And we each have the potential and the possibility to heal such. And I believe we will. That's why I'm here. If I can come from what I came from, anything can be healed. That's why I went through what I went through. That's why I was put through the test after test after test, initiations after initiations. I have to know what I'm talking about. When I speak of my life story, it's a truth. It's a truth. And there was nobody with me, just spirit. I know what I'm talking about. I claim that. I claim that story. I'm a great man. I'm great. So they were talking about all of these things that are sitting in your field, like that big, beautiful drawer of all that painting stuff and the tools and all the things that you have to create with. Those are all waiting for you. Those are the downloads, those are the codes, those are everything that you're downloaded every day for you to play with. And it's up to you to create that magnetism, that excitement, that joy of who you are, the vibration of who you are, the sacredness of who you are. I am great today. I'm going to activate it. I'm aligning with who I am. I'm great today. I'm going to activate it. I'm going to start living it, behaving in this higher and trained way, and playing with the elements of the earth to help realign the constituents of your bodies to create that higher flow of light and oscillation. One of the things that happened to me the other night, because it's alignment of my higher ascension, because I've leveled up, is this happened to me once before, but this was much more profound. Many, many years ago, I looked out my window and I saw these light ships one by one in the perfect diameter apart from each other. And it happened to me many, many years ago on a special occasion when I had passed an initiation. And the other night, as I was, put my seat back to look up at the sky, and it was a beautiful, clear night. And all of a sudden, for 9 or 10 minutes straight, the light ships had gone by in the exact, equal distance from each other. And it was like a convoy. I wrote about it many years ago, the convoy of love. And it did it again, but for much longer. And it was a big celebration for me because it's greater alignment to my celestial families and friends, and I feel them with me all the time. And I'm also seeing more in thank you, Spirit. I'm also seeing more in just grabbing my water. What am I seeing more in? My water. Gorgeous. It's gorgeous out. So lucky. Children are playing. Everybody's out exercising. And all of these great and miraculous things, but they're speeding up. The ascension and the synchronicities are speeding up. So many remarkable things are happening with sacred geometry and numbers. And these numbers are codes within equations, if you will. And I remember many people telling me about their experiences with numbers and codes. So start keeping finer attunement of what's really before you, and really seek it. Seek the excitement of the acceleration of what you're manifesting and what's coming before you, because it's so amazing. And you're creating it. So that just shows you how great you are. So as the divine is unfolding and you're in more allowance of love, you're being more love, and you're experiencing greater love, the greater participation that you have with the universe begins to support you equally. So in your acceptance and in your allowance and your calling of everything great, you're participating in that same level. So you're asking of the universe to meet you that equal measure. And so just know that. Remember, every time you level up or you upgrade in your greatness, you're going to also allow the universe to give that and support you in it. Because that is the equal equation of the universe. That is God's promise. That is Spirit's promise for you. If you choose to activate a sense of greatness and a level of greatness, the universe will support you equally on every level. The various sheaths of that realm experience, it will meet you on every level. Supportive family, supportive friends, lovers, tools, supplies, homes, housing, whatever you need in that experience, the expansiveness of the energy, the expansiveness of love and light. But we have to say, okay, I'm ready, Spirit, and not fear about being left out or abandoned or all those shadows that have to be worked through. Many of the reasons why so many don't go forward is because they don't want to feel so different, because there's persecution energies and shadow energies that must be worked through. Whether the shadow was a childhood wound of not being accepted, many dogmatic schools that, entrain you to do certain things and only be accepted in certain ways, and you have to say certain things to be accepted, and many of the staunch religious beliefs that allow ceremony and how you do things and how you say things and in what manner you pray and in what manner you do this and what manner you do that, they limit the soul in every way, and they thwart the spirit. And I'll be the first one to say it. I've seen it. I've experienced it. I've experienced the warped spirits that come from those experiences and how little self-confidence and little sense of self they have. Because to fit in and to create a sense of self, they're being told what sense of self they have and what they must do to feel a sense of self, to feel a sense of belonging, to feel a sense of acceptance. And that is not Spirit at all. That is never what Spirit intended. Spirit never intended everybody to pray the same way. Spirit never intended, as Jesus said, I am you. How do you want to serve God today? How do you want to be as God today? How does it want to be as infinite and creative and dynamic as you are? It's not meant to be done the same way by everybody. It's not meant to be prayed in the exact same words or you're not accepted. And how ridiculous and how illogical is that? It is still accepted and is purposeful, but is it of our 5D experience? We can be accepting of all things, but when you take away the creative spirit and how one wants to choose to express and be of creative experience and exploration, then that is control in every way. And how okay is that to staunch and limit the spirit? And it's done by the billions, whether it be through entertainment, whether it be through political genres, whether it be through gaming and demoralizing and devaluing of humanity. Those are all aspects of fear and control and how we have dehumanized who we are. And I'm first to say it's not okay. We got to step beyond this because we're higher vibrational beings now, and we're meant to start rewriting these human experiences. There's no necessary experience for crime anymore. We can heal these wounds. The wounds are what creates crime, and they can be healed. Every single one of them can be healed. There is not one person on this planet that is not worthy of forgiveness. There is not one person on this planet that cannot be healed through love. Spirit is the healer of all things. Make no mistake about it. If that soul chooses to heal through a disease, that spirit and that energy and that being and that body will heal that disease. And there is evidence and there is support and there is testing and there is much research being done on this. And that is the alliance and that is the power of spirit. I know, I've seen it, I've experienced it. I've experienced the alchemy of darkness. I've experienced the alchemy of what devils were thrown at me. And trust me, I've seen them. I'm a seer, I can see it. And I can feel it on every level. I can see who is carrying what energies in their field, even if they don't live in the same country or province. I can feel the energies of a corporation. I can see it and I can feel it. So I know it's all God, and I see it all as God. You do not offend me. I am neutral to you. Go. And it leaves. Because you're not giving it power through your fear or through control of it. And that's why those that do not understand energy end up reaping exactly what they do, because they're not understanding energy. And they just end up impaling themselves. And their lives start to go in very negative ways. They start blocking and creating really bad luck for themselves, vibrationally, physically, mentally, emotionally. They're throwing themselves all out of whack. That is what negativity, fear, and control do. They are ill health in every way. And that is what's shown through the physical body and through the physical life. Bad luck, your blocked abundance, ill health, disease, things just happening out of nowhere. Those are those negative energies being impelled upon itself, because that's that matching vibration. We got to understand it, people. Or not. It's always free will, but it don't have to be that complicated and hard. It really doesn't. That mess that was created in the experiences of what I've been through the last 5 years, none of it was necessary. It was obnoxious control, and it was so unnecessary, and so much damage has been done that was so unnecessary. It wasn't necessary. But there was so much anger and hate within the competition of what people feel they need to get and take from people that think they have the right to control and take from another. Whether it be a crime and taking something from a house or a car or a store, it's not necessary. Abundance is fully within, and that's where the return of who we are is so powerful. And how can we begin? Returning our claiming our voice, reclaiming our choice. You see my eyes? Can't see my eyes in that. My face is really, really red because I was sitting out in the sun today. Thank you, Spirit, for all of your blessings and your grace. The support is upon you to receive everything that you wish and everything that you so choose. There's no need to take or harm another. There isn't. Those have been the lessons that we've lived in other lifetimes. And that was Spirit just saying that. Thank you, Spirit. The participation in your greatness is needed for that spark to become a new behavior or new words or new research. Those energies where you're creating that something new, whether it's through research, looking into things, doing business differently, maybe creating better health for your body, new levels of activity, new friends, however that reaching out is for new, to create that new environment, to create that new experience. That's those sheaths of experience that I was talking about. And all of those gifts and all those tools and all those experiences are sitting there waiting for you. It's like a backlog of codes that are waiting for you, like the drawer filled with art supplies. So the key here is the infinite inspiration that you are as the eternal being of light and all that is your potential from not only this timeline and lifetime, but the many lifetimes upon earth that are now ready to be harmonized into the new energies. So remember, every lifetime on earth is being reactivated that we've been in. And then in those timelines of earth that are spiraling like this, you get to then call in those harmonizations because now you're acting from a higher vibrational level of you. That's why your past is never who you are now. Your past is the wisdoms. So you take that wisdom. You don't take the stories. You don't take the experiences because you've healed those experiences. That's what true quantum healing is about. If you keep reliving the stories, you're going to keep reliving the timeline. You're going to keep reliving the same cycle. So release the vibrational stories. Heal the wound. Healing the wound inside is that quantum healing. That's why those of us like Jesus and masters, we can quantum jump into these timelines and help heal people, because it's not a place. The past is not a place. It's not a place. It's not like going down the street to Tim Hortons. It's not a place. It's a vibration. It's an experience that people get stuck within because they don't know how to transcend the experience of the wound. They don't know how to experience, and that's why I'm here. I understand shadow energy. I understand healing the wounds. I understand transcending cycles of darkness. And through the alliance of light, everything is possible. So you're healing those timelines and you're now harmonizing into a new timeline. But those gifts are going to be sitting there like backlogged codes, and they can say, oh, wow, I remember that. Let's start doing this. Let's start doing light language. Let's start healing. Let's start creating new ways where we can talk and communicate. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. In every lifetime, you awaken to a new level of consciousness, just as some have practiced in abuse or the energy of abuse or the abuse of power in this lifetime. You in other lifetimes and other avatars have also played the same. So you take turns in playing those roles. So each of you can take those contracts, those soul contracts, and expand each other's gifts. And why in this lifetime you can recognize abuse of power and you can say, I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going this way. That's ascension. By practicing goodwill and by practicing what serves you, you get to create that new timeline. You don't want to sit in those karmic cycles where they hurt. Why would you want to do that to yourself? And that's called self-sabotage. You don't have to, but many people do, because that's a soul lesson as well. I'm worthy. I'm going to love myself so much so that I don't want to self-sabotage. Everything is purposeful. It teaches you, it helps align you to greater light. For you to know that you're always the same side of the coin, you're just choosing a different role based on your now consciousness vibration. I've learned those lessons. I want to be here now. I've learned those lessons. I want to be here now, and I'm going to start manifesting something better for myself because I deserve it. I'm worthy. Again, it's the value and the worthiness of humanity that we're shifting, where all voices are included in our creational story, where divine feminine get to play a better role and a higher vibrational role of leadership, where we're commanding and demanding more because our consciousness levels are commanding it, of greater vibrational leaders, greater integrity within our communities, so that each and every one of us are held within our own up-leveling, and hold everybody accountable. Hold everyone accountable for their actions. And that doesn't mean throwing everybody into a prison. That means, how do we create the healing of the wounding? Because every abuser has been abused. How do we understand ourselves more as higher value and higher worthiness? Because that's where it begins. That's where it begins. That's where all healing and correction begins, and realignment to love. It's possible. Each person has free will to want to do the work or not. And whether it's done or not, there is no judgment by God. God adores every soul and every person equally. But those that have done the work and those that do want to evolve, they will not be no longer held back. And the highest of the legions are here to assist every human being that says, I will no longer be held back. I will do whatever it takes to get out of this cycle. And you show Spirit that pure will of intent, and those legions of beings will be with you. And the blocks and the hurdles will be cleared out of the way. Make no mistake about that. I speak of that as Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I speak that of truth. And that truth is, your alliance with light is powerful. That is the title of my 4th book, The Alliance with Light. The alliance with light is just your learning of all the darkness and the shadows, and honoring it, accepting it, bringing it in whole, and embracing it. It's all the same. What perspective do you hold? What belief do you hold? That is the core energy of who you are. If you believe that life is all negative and life is all corrupt and life is this and life is that and life is this, then that's what you will create. That is what reality you will steep within. It's not necessary. It's pretty great. It's pretty fucking great. It's great, man. Each has a unique level of consciousness, and you all play with one another in different levels of consciousness awakening. So your light is there to awaken somebody that's sitting in darkness, and their darkness is to help you become more compassionate and aligned and keep moving up and keep moving up and keep moving up, because that link in the chain is needed to continue the light evolution upon planet Earth. The light must continually be anchored to Earth. You must continually activate those codes by behaving in higher vibrational patterned ways, to seeing and paying attention to what are the highest synchronicities that you're now being shown? What are the higher ascension symptoms you're now being shown? So the ringing of the ears, the vibration of these audible sounds that are now awakening in your field. For many of us, as we have multidimensional perceptive gifts, the galactic ears and the galactic energies are awakening in our field, and it's like a reverberation of sound behind us 2 feet this way. And we get to interact with our collective of elements of earth in greater ways. So empower each other to see the greatness that each of you hold. Each of you have the power to bathe yourself and your allness in the light and the grace that is spirit. It's always being gifted, and that is the grace of God. It's never entitled. If you act from a space of entitlement, like you're entitled to control another's path, you're entitled to control what another does, those are absolutely ego energies and shadow energies. We're meant to surrender into the graceful flow of spirit. Just saying, thank you, Spirit. Whatever you bless me with today, I'm grateful. To want for nothing and know that all will be given. And those are all lessons everybody has to learn and go through and suss out. In every moment, in any moment, are you living from ego or are you living from spirit? Are you grateful for all that you are and all that you have? Or is it just a constant seeking and greed? And that's why all of these corporations, these underground experiences that are corrupt, they will all be brought, because the consciousness level on our planet will suss it out. The consciousness level on our planet will command of it and demand of it. Those that are awakening will say, I don't want to be hurt anymore. I'm speaking out to what is unjust. I will be speaking out to those that have harmed me. I will be speaking out to every single person that was involved and to the part that they played in it, because they know exactly who they are. They know exactly what part they played. And what karma are they going to clear? What part of the creation of a beautiful community are they going to play a part of? Or are they just going to continue laughing and saying that's never going to happen to me, and the next day their karma kicks in? So it's their game they're playing. And that's okay too, because we all see it and we all allow for compassion and healing of the all. And every person has their right to step out of it and not want to play and involve with it. We will not involve any longer in the harming of people and the degradation of people and the dehumanizing of people, and to think that it's okay. It's not okay. We can adapt to higher vibrational becoming because it's creating the new value. Every single person on our planet is worthy of their voice, of their choice to hold themselves safe and honoring. Every person, every child, every animal, every aspect of life is sacred. Every aspect of life is sacred. And that is why many aspirants on the path go into deep honoring of humility and sacredness of all life, surrendering yourself into spirit, because we must humble ourselves of all life. Who is it for us to ever degrade or demean or devalue or even take a life of anything, regardless of how small we think it is and insignificant? It is all significant. Make no mistake about that. You can't have an equation without every part within it. So who are we to say that part is not included? That part is not included. That part's not okay. That part's not okay. That part's this and that part's that. It's all active. It's all participating. It's all a part of it. It's all an equation. And if it's just simply allowed and not harming another and not taking from another, not controlling another, then that is the most diverse, profound planet that we have in our whole galaxy right now. And that is our potential of humanity. And I'm going to uphold that, because I know where our potential is. Our potential is so profound to allow the diversity of our planet, to allow all aspects of God to be honored and respected and valued as we express it and explore it and experience it, and not to take from another or harm another in doing so and being so. Amen. Thank you, Spirit. That is divine wisdom. Thank you. And the divine wisdom is coming from all of those practical experiences that we had to move through when each of us were in our dark nights of the soul. And who was there when you reached out? I'm not understanding what I'm going through, but I really need somebody to talk to. Are you there for me? What community outreach programs can I reach out to? I'm not feeling fully balanced. I want to make sure that I'm balanced. I wouldn't want to cause harm to anybody. I'm going to go check this out with the doctor. What accountability is each person taking for their healing? And if you know that something isn't right, then speak up about it and reach out about it. And that is bringing great peace and energy and consciousness and leveling up to your world, because you're saying, I command a reality and a world that is great. And to have a great world, we got to start behaving in greater ways. And that's having our own backs, knowing that we can step forward in new beginnings. We can step forward in new graciousness of ourselves. And we can step forward in knowing that I will stand up and I will speak if I'm the only one speaking, because our children deserve to see a higher vibrational collective. Because what has been It's ready for change. It's taught us a lot, but it's now ready to step through a new window. No one deserves to be abused in any way, whether it's through manipulation, financial or mental, emotional, or physical. No one deserves it. So sort out the wounds and heal it. Go within and heal it. Give yourself the love. Suss it out. Where did those beliefs begin? Surrender those stories to spirit and heal the wounds. Because everybody is heaven sent. Everybody. Everybody on this planet is heaven sent. There is a purpose and there is a reason. Every single particle and every single aspect is required and unique and purposeful. And nobody has the right to say that one doesn't belong, that one doesn't belong, that one doesn't belong. Nobody has that right. Every particle of life has its value and moral perspective, and it's worthy. The values, the perspectives, the honoring, the voice, the practice, the expressiveness, the uniqueness, the profundity, all is needed and required. And that, my friends, is true. Thank you, Spirit. That is creation, the allowance factor. We're going to do this one. I got my mojo back. Joe got her mojo. We're going to do some tarot. Some tarot. What would you like to talk about? Trees. Trees. Trees, trees. Where's the little buggies? Where's the buggies? We'll find a buggy today. There's going to be a buggy. So thank you for those that were, I was asking about the plural of geeses and gooses, and apparently it's geese. Funky. Funky that is. Funky. And so we're going to see what the trees would like to say. Any channeling from the collective. Thank you, Holy Spirit, the Arcturians, Syrians, Pleiadians, and all of the beings of light, the Andromedans. Thank you, Spirit, and Andromedans. We're going to pull 3 cards from my beautiful Moon and Sun Tarot. Moon, Sun, and Star Tarot. Thank you. So the collective of that just flew out here. What was that about? Oh, it's about a little bit of love. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? What do you think about that, partner? Hey, partner. It's a little bit of love coming. Oh my gosh. Oop, 10 of Pentacles. Can you get any better than that? Oh my God. Oh my God. That's what it's meant for. Oh my God. It's like, oh my God. A little bit of greatness. And the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands comes in with those inspiring energies and activities, and they're pointing up to creation, but it is a bit of immaturity. They're not quite mature in their emotions or their feelings, and they don't even really know what they are most of the time. They just want to play and have fun, which is fine because it is a catalyst of energy and a catalyst of movement. But it's always discerning to know what is the richness and the motive and the intention, and that is discerning within your own value system, within who you are. And always remember too, that anything within the Knight of Wands energies, everything before you is purposeful because it allows you to discern who you are and navigate. Who are you within this spiraling momentum of energy? You might have called it in to test yourself. Is this going to be an energy that you want to entangle with? And you may just test yourself. And you get those various initiations and those tests. So allow that to be okay. You don't have to shut yourself off, and you don't have to say that any one thing is not valid. It might just not be okay for you now. And so you can close the door, open the door based on what you are discerning within what is being offered. If what is being offered is authentic and true and honest and real, based on how it fits with you, remember, you're aligning with what is nourishing you, what is fitting with you. And if it doesn't fit with you, then you get to close the door and say, not today, bye. So you get to say, what is coming up in my life? How can I really use that catalytic energy? Because you want that catalytic energy of that new life, that new spark. And how is it going to anchor with you on this planet Earth? How is it going to activate the many gifts of your greatness that you've got? Potentiation. Everybody before you has a purpose. That's why I absolutely trust anybody that is being sent to me and led to me is being done so by a very profound reason. And then I discern with spirit in that moment, even before that moment, on how and why they are before me, what it is my role is, and how I am to play within that role. And there are certain energies where I just choose to close and not play at all, and not detach and not entangle. I just detach and move away and love from a distance, or send light from a distance, or send help from a distance. Because some of those energies have there's just been so much cause. of loss and pain. And every person on their path has to discern those energies, even within our own collective. How have we given our choice and our voice away? And what do we choose to focus on and direct our intention now? That is the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands reminds me of political leaders. They're coming around with their energies and they speak the word, but they necessarily don't have actions to follow up. And that's what the Knight of Wands is really about. There's no follow through because it's immature. It doesn't necessarily what really is spirit. How do I know what spirit is? How do I follow through with spirit? How do I make a plan with spirit? And the Knight of Wands doesn't know that. It just wants to get involved. It wants to get in there. It wants to see what the energy is and rustle about and maybe have some fun, and then it's out of there. It doesn't have follow through. It doesn't have endmanship. So that's what reminds me. The Knight of Wands are political leaders. Why we've chosen that, I'm not sure, but that's for us to each of us to reflect on. But whenever I see a Knight of Wands, it reminds me of politics, because there is not the alignment with spirit through which all of the red tape can be cut. And it's just that pure, quick alignment. And then the unfolding of a higher vibrational potential is through which always the abundance is always there, because it's known throughout the vibration of its allness. I know who I am, and I will always have infinite ideas, and I will always be led to abundance. I know that. I will come up with 100,000 more ideas within the next 5 years if I wanted to. I know who I am, and nobody's going to stop me or block me or thwart me or throw me off my path or make me not have my destiny. Those stories are not mine anymore. It's from a different realm, different reality. It's part of my experience, and I value it. And I'm kind of over it. So I know how to walk people through it. Those people that have been abused, those people that have been mentally held down, vibrationally held down, feeling like you're stuck in a cycle you simply cannot get out of. You absolutely can. I'm living proof of that. And it is about the purity of who you are, honoring yourself and your worthiness to know that you're worthy of better and higher and more. And it has to begin with you. What's in the center of here will always be what can unfold. What are you spiraling next? It begins within, always. So what are you conjuring? Who's your partner? Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups is the alliance of light. It always must begin with you in spirit first. That is always the Ace of Cups to me. The Ace of Cups is your fulfillment with you of you. Because if you can't do you with you first, nothing else will come second. That's why the self-value and the self-rewriting and the self-design for who you are as a divine being always comes first. Who are you as above and below? It's always you in spirit. It's always the return to one. It is always the law of one. It is always the return of the circle. It is always of thyself, of thyself. The acceptance of all is always of thyself. The acceptance of the all is always of thyself. You fill your own cup first, because nobody can give you any cup if they are not knowing of themselves. And that's why the Knight of Wands comes in and comes out, because the Knight of Wands doesn't really know. The Knight of Wands doesn't really know who it is. So it wants to be a part of that little fun race. And then it wants to get out of there because it doesn't want that commitment of knowing itself, just too scary. And that's okay. It's a part of the game, but you don't have to entangle with it. You can discern the way around those energetic navigations, or you can just close the door and not answer. That's okay too. But just have that confidence that you can navigate any and all energies, and you get to choose what your path looks like. You get to choose what it looks like in the design of what is next. I want to experience this next, spirit. Bring it. I'm ready. Bring it, spirit. I'm ready. I'm ready to be of heaven on earth. I'm ready to be of element. I'm ready to be a fairy. I'm ready to be of everything. Bring it, bring it, bring it. I'm ready. So too it is. Thank you, spirit. Thank you, spirit. We are so very blessed today. And then we're just going to do a quick vibrational alignment with some light language in our greatness. So let's do that. Thank you, spirit. So just take a deep breath. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in. Release any and all energies of confusion. Release any and all energies of not understanding why things have happened. You'll understand exactly when you need to know. So give yourself reflection time every day. There's still things that I don't understand about my past, and I know it will unfold in time when I'm ready. I just allow it. And I just focus on living in joy right now. Living in joy is the highest vibration that you can have, to being the highest, beautiful, sacred child that you are, opening the chakras, calling in your I am presence. I am great, I am great, I am great, and clearing out that I am sacral. The root. The solar plexus. I am that I am, I am that I am, I am that I am, I am great. I am that I am, I am that I am, I am that I am great. And open up the heart chakra, divine sacred heart. And come to center in gratitude and appreciation, and use your voice through your choice of who you are as spirit, and speak the spirit of all that is, the loving oneness of all that is. Thank you. Calling in the soul of all that we are, any fragments that is being left out in creation. Call back all your energy, call back all your consciousness, reclaim all your energy, reclaim all your light, reclaim your choice, reclaim your voice. All energies and all aspects of energies in the universe that now can return to me now, please return to me now that is mine and mine only. All energies that are not mine, all energies or entities that are in my field or in my bodies that are not of the highest light and not of the highest loving value, release now, release now, release now. Be gone, be gone, be gone. I am pure love and I am pure love and I am pure love. Only energies and entities of pure love, please. Laita maisha na maya dedike na makata e maya dedike shia na maka aya na makata e aya dedike aya maya dedike shia na naka. This yana makata kaya na nakata. Sema makata dedike shia na nanaya dedike na nanaya dedike na nanaya dedike na nakata. From the heavens and from the earth and from the heavens and from the earth, from all timelines, we are creating the oneness of who we are as the greatness of love. I call in the greatness of who I am, Spirit. Thank you. And breathe up. Claim your codes. Claim your codes. Breathe up. And anchor down. Remember to anchor. Remember to anchor. Go into the earth. Go into the earth. And it's a beautiful crystalline light that goes all the way down their center, all the way down your center, and grounding into the center of earth. And you're now one with Gaia, please. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you. And now breathe in the elements of Gaia. I'm connecting with the grids, and my greatness is the grids. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I'm one with all that I am as spirit and the soul. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Now, so they're now saying the assimilation is now complete. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And just ask your teams and your guides for when that is complete for you. And it might take a couple of breaths. You can ask your teams for whatever signs and symbols that you need to know that you have connected deeply with the earth and your grounding has been complete. When you ground, you allow all energies that are not of the highest light to be released. That is just how powerful your connection with the earth is. It allows you connecting with the wisdoms and the grids and the understanding of intelligence that are always being threaded with the grids. There's 2 or 3 separate energies that are being transmuted through me right now for those on varying consciousness levels. So that's what they're showing me. They're showing me 4 different levels of those of you that are in these video offerings, that you will be offered different levels of communications and understandings to what I am saying. So have that be okay. The levels mean nothing, so just relax your ego. Say shayama ama se na kidikesha mama kata takesha and amakada de kena makayeta de kena mana daida namayeta de kesha and anakaida de kid. Se amayeta de kesha and anakata kaya and anaka. Se amaya matna sina ke. So they're saying that the symptomologies of ascension will lessen as you're continuing the release of what was. So the only reason why it sometimes feels, like intense, like you need quiet time, you need to be around more grounded and earthy people. You need to be around more relaxed and slow energies, wanting to release drama in every way. Those are ascension symptoms, because you know that your bodies are becoming more heightened. Your bodies are becoming more active. Your bodies are becoming greater light, more sensitive to light, more sensitive to sound and noise. So as you're releasing what is being plugged and clugged in your system, you're going to experience the ascension symptoms with less frustration. When you're feeling frustrated, it means things need to be cleared, because you are accelerating, but your body is not able to process that flow of light because you haven't cleared stuff. It's like gunking. It's like the gunk in the system. And that's why we've talked about before that any vessel can only offer what it is. And so again, it's discernment of the energies before you. It can only offer what it is. And so just trust what you feel and trust what you sense, and be okay with who you are. Be okay to be the only one standing, speaking what you speak. Be okay to be the only one that leaves and walks away because you're not okay with what was going on. Be the only one that is able to speak your highest truth. Be okay to be that one, because you're setting the standard for what is now. What is now is that our reality is stepping up and we're all leveling up to new energies of value systems. How do we treat one another? How is it okay to have these new laws assimilated with multidimensional experiences, vibrational, the intention to treat everybody with kindness and goodness? That is an intention. And those are the new vibrational energies that every day we wake up. How can I live my greatness? How can I be my greatness? How can I explore my greatness in these new multidimensional gifts? We all have them within us and we're all worthy. And so, dear lighted ones, we love you so much. We send you love and light and greatness. And I'm going to do some breath exercises and some stretching, some calisthenics. Don't forget your calisthenics. So important. Oh my gosh. So important. For your love and your blessings of your body and your light and your codes and everything that is you. We're so excited. So anybody that would like to donate, our links are below. We love you so very much. We'd love you, love you, love you. Don't forget to do your morning clearing and your daily self-care. Write out what your intentions are of the day. See yourself creating greatness, letting go of what was, attending, directing, and focusing on something new. And spirit is all around. Your alignment with light and love. We love you, dear lighted ones. Okay, bye. Bye.